Come, Bannerlords, and listen carefully. For though you hear stories of wise kings who rule over their loyal subjects, the truth is, there are limits to power. If you travel to the south, far from the fertile imperial heartland, across the ocean, and beyond the Azerai's coastal cities, here you arrive at the Nahassa Desert. Rugged, rocky wadis carved into a vast sea of sand. Scorching by day, freezing by night. It is said only serpents can survive out here. Every map marks this as Azerai territory, but one look and you can see just how distant the Sultan and his armies are. This is the land of roamers, or Jawwal. It was from this beautiful and deadly region that the young Shaka Bolo began his rise to power. He started as a scout for caravans. One fateful trip, a stubborn caravan master went against his advice and led the caravan into a desert bandit ambush. Shaka Bolo threw his javelins with fury, and he did what he could, but the rest of the caravan dudes sucked. And in the end, he barely escaped with his life. As he licked his wounds in Qyaz, all he could think about was all the loot the bandits had gained. A determined Shaka Bolo went to every tavern and alleyway in town, gathering brave and desperate men. They started small and focused on groups of looters and local bandits. But soon, they ran into the desert bandits themselves. They clashed in fury, but Shaka Bolo and his men were victorious. And in exchange for his life, a captured bandit told of the vast territory the desert bandits ruled over, with caves full of stolen caravan treasure. Right then and there, the war between Shaka Bolo and the desert bandits began. There were some strong warriors amongst the bandits, but many were not. And after many battles, they were crushed. The entire region, from Qyaz to Sanala, all the way down to Askar, was under Shaka Bolo's control. As always, the spoils of war brought wealth and fame. Master caravanners lined up to pay for protection across the desert. He placed trusted companions in alleys to collect protection money from caravans who arrived in town. Of course, some refused to pay, to their great detriment. For all know the desert is especially dangerous. Between the weather and the bandits, it was not uncommon for whole caravans to disappear without a trace. Protection, extortion, caravans, and war made Shaka Bolo as rich as an emir. He now rivaled the famous Jawwal Warlords of legend. But remember, my young Bannerlords, power and greed call sweetly to the ambitious. News from the east arrives. The Southern Empire legions march with impunity, seeking to reclaim their prosperous Azerai fiefs. Shaka Bolo weighed the opportunity. What if? What if he offered his services to a desperate sultan? What if he used politics to make powerful connections? Who knows what destiny could hold for the young Jawwal Warlord? Wars can be so hard on wise old kings. From the very start of this campaign, very first thing you do is you get Jawwal Sell the horse, sell the saddle, and get on that camel. If you're not rocking a camel, you're not Jawwal, so make it happen. Now, on top of mercenaries, there are also minor clans. You've got the Eternal Flame. You've got the Wolf Pack. You've got criminal organizations like the Hidden Hand. Hell, there's 3 minor factions from Azerai territory alone. You got the Beni Zalal. You got the Gulmans from the Gilman minor faction. And last, but most certainly not least, we have our stunning Jawwal troop tree line here. It's simple, but it's awesome. This is a major issue for me, Oklahoma gang, and I can't stress it enough. In my opinion, it is entirely too easy to get high-level troops in this game. As it stands right now, there's no real use for mercenary troops other than just maybe thematically. You know, they're never going to stack up to the highest level troops in the game, and you have access to those from the start, so why not just use them? People say use mods or impose your own rules or what. Yeah. But I just can't stress enough. I don't think you should be rolling in Legionnaires and Fiends at Clan Tier 2. I just don't. And I think if it took a little longer to get to the good troops, it would give these mercenaries a place to shine. Mercenaries kind of suck for fighting big elite armies, but they're fantastic for things like fighting bandits, taking down or defending caravans. That's where mercenaries shine, but they don't get to because you've already got your Fiends and Legionnaires ready to go from Clan Tier 0, and it's ridiculous. And I hate it, and I hope it changes. Thank you all for attending my Mercenary and Minor Faction TED Talk. The sun rises on the glorious territory of the great Shaka Bolo, and there at the top you can see my caravans heading out to get to work. So we're right here at Clan Tier 1. We haven't even hit Clan Tier 2. You can't even start a kingdom until Clan Tier 4, but what do every time? You get yourself all worked up, and you get in a hurry instead of relaxing and having fun. Shaka Bolo is here to remind you to just relax. Okay, that's what this start is. This is a relaxing start. But the number one thing you gotta do, and this is a lot of mistake you young Bannerlords make, is you get all excited about having a big army and you just get ahead of yourself. But what I would suggest that you do, and what I want you to focus on in this playthrough, is staying lean. What do I mean by that? Well, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I like to keep my party size between 30 and 40 troops. You need at least 30 to do some quests like the Caravan Ambush. So I always have at least 30, but I usually grab about 40 and then I run around. If I start getting in the low 30s, I fill back up and I get back to running around. The second I get about 12,000 gold, I go find a good caravan companion and I launch a caravan. I think the standard playthrough for a lot of Bannerlords is they farm bandits until they get to Clan Tier 1. Then as soon as they hit Clan Tier 1, they hop on that merc contract. It can be kind of hectic, and sometimes it's nice to change it up. So this playthrough, we're skipping mercenary phase, okay? There's no mercenary contracts allowed, because if you grab a mercenary contract, you're putting your caravans at risk. Enemy armies and enemy mercenaries and stuff will hunt your caravans down. There's already enough problems for caravans out there. Let's not add to them. And I already have 1, 2, 3 caravans going. This guy's going to be my 4th one as soon as I get the cash, and we're on our way. So there you can see my 2 caravans, the Leopardus and the Spice Vendor. They're getting crazy, heading over to Valandian lands, going to buy some wine, maybe some oil from all those olives over there, although we've kind of got olives down here, so we're probably good on the oil. Take some horses. That's always a good thing to do. You know, if you ever want to get cheap horses, check Askar, because look here. This village comes down to Askar. This horse village comes down to Askar. And this village comes into Askar. All 3 horse villages. And look here. It also gets a date and 2 grains. It's not quite Sanala with the 4 grain villages, but it's right behind it. This is a hell of a city. You get a ton of mounts. And you know, this will make you a ton of money if you put the right governor. There's governor traits that will increase horse production. Oh, come on now. I mean, you could make this town something with the right governor. Might have to do a whole playthrough dedicated to it. We'll see. This is all Shaka Bolo territory, baby. It's all mine. I mean, it's the Azerais, but I'm the one out here enforcing and getting paid. And once you get your caravans up and running, all you're going to do is we're going to come back out and continue our war with the desert bandits. And I just chase some of the big groups until I run them into some smaller groups.
What is it?
Look at there. Perfect. Dirty bandits. Suck that javelin. Beautiful. Bye, Harami. Here you can see we're now at 12.9K. It's time to fire off another caravan. And I'm going to talk to you. Get that beautiful Azari caravan discount. And I'm going to send out my Falcon guy. And there he goes too. We're going to call this the Jawwal Start. Grab a camel, some javelins, a small party, and launch as many caravans as you can. Stay the hell away from Merkin. And once you're all set up and established, if you want to start smithing, buy a wife, whatever, just enforce your territory and let your wealth grow. Just stay lean and push those caravans, and it won't be long before you're the richest and most powerful Jawwal Warlord in all of Calradia. And let's show you real quick how we built the great Shaka Bolo. The whole focus of this build is to what? It's to free as many of my companions as I can up to run caravans. So here you'll see I'm my own scout, I'm my own steward, I'm my own medic, I'll be my own engineer. Now when it comes to throwing, this is going to give your javelins a chance to penetrate shields. Happens pretty consistently. This ability makes your camel riding Jawwal Warlord one of the greatest infantry support units in the game. Because you can just sit right behind the infantry line on your tall ass camel and throw death sticks into your enemies. And even if they have their shields up, a lot of times it doesn't matter. You can get most of the good stuff in a tree without maxing it all the way out. And in fact, very often you don't even need the last talent. Remember, to get your required skill level all the way up to 275 is going to require you to put 7 attribute points in there. You will max out at 274 with 5 focus and 6 attribute points currently. Now, if they change it with war cells, we'll see. However, if you come into the two-handed tree and highlight Way of the Great Axe here, you'll see it only requires 250 skill. And if you look at the chart again, you'll see 5 attribute points along with 5 focus points. That's going to give you a max available of 260. So you only need to put 5 attribute points and 5 focus points in two-handed if you want to max out this tree. But if you want to be a one-handed monster, you're going to have to go all the way up to 275. And that's going to require 7 vigor points. So we come back to throwing, and in particular, we're talking about throwing javelins. I don't really need to put 7 points in here and max this all the way out because I don't really need more travel speed or more damage. However, I would really like to have my javelins penetrating shields. That would be amazingly fun. But look here, the future is bright because we have our 5 and 5. So keep that in mind when you're doing your build. But the whole focus of this build was to free up as many companions as possible for caravans. Enough with all the nerdy shit. Now we're going to have the great Shaka Bolo teach you how to become the Jawwal Warlord you were meant to be. Let's take it from the top, right here at the helmet. In my opinion, a true Jawwal would never wear a helmet. All I know is if I got hair like this, I'm rocking it 24/7. I mean, that's what this whole channel's about, really. It's about me making enough money to buy some hair plugs to grow a big-ass Jawwal Warlord fro like this. Look at my man here, like a lion. For the shoulder piece, always, always, always rocking that leopard pelt. Along with our companions and our wife. The only rule with the leopard pelt is you can't wear one until you've slain an enemy in battle. That's the tradition. But given the state of the world of Calradia, that one shouldn't take you long. And of course, no Jawwal Warlord would be complete without his war wagon. There are 4 types of camels in the game. The first is your pack camel. And on your Jawwal playthrough, this is what you need to have. Carrying around all your goods for your party. Okay, I don't want to see Sumpter horses or Midlands or any of that other shit. We're running pack camels like true Jawwal. When it comes to riding on camels, you've got 3 types. You've got the basic camel. A step up from that is the war camel. But the best camels in all of Calradia are right here, the Hussenfries, or as I like to call them, war wagons. And remember, if you want to ride a camel, you have to buy a camel saddle to put on top of it. When it comes to weapons of war, the first clear choice for any Jawwal is going to be javelins and a shield, baby. Let the wind run through our awesome hair while we run around tossing out one-shots. Sound like fun? Let's do it. But, as any javelineer knows, at some point, you run out of javelins. What are we going to do then? Well, you've got a few options. The first option you got here is the standard issue camel poker. And this one is great. You can just stab out. It's very nice. I like to keep my camel poker at around 180 to 200 length. This one is actually a little longer than I like. I like to keep it a little shorter. Really, I think 160, 170 is the perfect length. If you're not interested in a camel poker because you just find lances to be boring, maybe you recently wrapped up a Valandia campaign and you're kind of burned out on all the thrusting, another option you have, instead of the camel poker, you could move into a camel cleaver. See, and this is a very long reach, right? And it's kind of slow. It's got some wind-up time. You kind of got to get used to it. Do you see this like special Falx blade that I have on it? That blade in particular has a chance to dismount from swing attacks. So sometimes when I hit guys with that, it knocks them off. This one's probably a little long, but I gotta tell you, it's a lot of fun to use. It's super slow, but do remember, Shaka Bolo does not have any polearm skill, like not even one. So you could speed it up pretty dramatically if you wanted to put some points into it. The thing is, you'll see by the time you're done using all your javelins, typically the battle's already over. And I mean, I carry something like 20 javelins. It just takes a long time to get them all off, especially if you're really trying to make the shots count. By the time I switch to my stick, the battle's usually won and we're just on mop-up duty. And with cleanup in mind, another great war wagon weapon can be the Camel Chopper. This one here is probably Shaka Bolo's favorite. You can really do some damage with this thing. You have to be careful with the camel because they don't have armor. But if you get, come around the back line or something, you can really do some damage. Just remember, when it comes to your Jawwal Warlord, it's only 4 things that matter: the hair, the pelt, the javs, and the wagon. After that, everything else is gravy. Let us take a moment to give a salute and a shout out to the brave castle garrison that's hitting that F1, F3 right into the heart of that Imperial Legion headed over that dune. We greatly admire and appreciate their service. While they're getting massacred, let me talk to you about a few things. You'll see that we don't have any armor, and we need camel armor so bad. And the second that we get camel armor, I'll probably make an entire video on it, to be honest. People always want to show me a mod or whatever and how happy I be, but no. I stand in solidarity with our console Bannerlord bros. Camel armor for all, I say. And until they get it, I'm not going to mod it in. What you really want to use your camel rider for is more like an infantry support vehicle. I just sit back here and just toss these javelins into high priority targets like that cataphract right there. What I really try to do is just use my 20 javelins to kill somewhere between 8 and 12, heavily armored guys. We're going to send in the Jav Cav on top of our guys are throwing jabs. The arrows are rolling. Right away, you can see how useful the talent where javelins can pierce shields would be awesome. But just start throwing them, because even if you don't hit somebody, if you hit a shield, you really weaken the shield. But you see the elevation advantage the camel gives you, and just keep throwing these javelins because we just want to use them. We just want to use all our javelins. Sometimes you hit your own guys. You got to be careful of that. You're just throwing out these one-shot sticks everywhere. Dead, dead, dead. See how powerful this build is? And then we're just going to send everybody in. Let's go. Everybody go in. But you see what I'm saying about your secondary weapon. I mean, by the time you've burned through all your javelins, battles are typically over. And you really just use your secondary for cleaning up. So the axe is probably my favorite, but the big cleaver here, we'll bust it out after we throw this javelin right in. There you go. Suck the shaft of Shaka Bolo, you Empire dog. Trying to fight a Jawwal in the desert, are you crazy? And yeah, now they run. They run like cowards. And we're going to get our big camel cleaver. You really got to time it because it's got some windup. After your javelins have done all the dirty work, you can see it's just really nice for harvesting up the shaft here. And it is harvest season, folks. A brutal battle turns to victory. And now the Empress Regea and her nobles will learn the name of Shaka Bolo. Hey, look, here's my wife. Hey, hottie. Good job, sweet stuff. She's crushing. Now rise up, Bannerlords. Grab your javelins. Don your leopard pelts. Mount your camels. All shall behold the rise of the Jawwal. Boklahoma out.